Hello there, men, and welcome to the Masculinism Movement channel, a place for men to be men, to talk about masculinity and men's issues. I'm your host, Brian Crawl, and today I want to talk to you a bit about women's worth. Because women are always talking about it these days, and yet they don't seem to be talking about it very definitively. Like with many things, they often can't define what it is that they are saying very well. So when a woman is talking about her worth and you ask her what it is, she won't be able to tell you, other than it is high. If you ask her what makes her have such a high worth, again, she won't be able to tell you. Likewise, if she's talking about her worth in a relationship with a man and you ask her what she has to offer him that makes her worth so much, she again won't be able to tell you. So what is women's worth exactly? Do they really have any? And if so, why can't they define it? Because it seems like it might just be narcissism. I mean, that is certainly what it would be if they are just going around asserting that they are worth more than most other people without having any actual status, skills, values, or any sort of prestige to show for it. Think about this. I recall a time about 15 years ago. I was in a bookstore looking through the sex ed section, and I came upon a book written by a feminist that didn't belong there. I looked at it, and on the back it said that this author had set out to write a book about sexism and discrimination in corporate America, and how the patriarchy holds women down by preventing them from ascending up the corporate ladder. This woman had gone around to some of the top corporations of the time. This was decades ago, mind you. The book wasn't new when I looked at it. And interviewed the CEOs about why they didn't have any female executives working for the company. The idea was that she was going to catch all of them in some sort of unfair, misogynistic business practices. But the responses were actually quite shocking to her. Every single CEO she interviewed said some version of the same thing. Women never ask for those positions. So instead of writing a book about sexism against women, holding them down, she ended up writing the book about how women hold themselves back from going for what they want because of their own negative assumptions about their abilities and their lack of self-esteem and such. This was around the time that we began to see affirmative action, which promoted women going for more jobs than they ever had before. However, the result of people being hired less upon merit hasn't caused the quality of the work done in the workplace to go up. As we have seen, when women are ushered into the workplace and hired not based on merit but on their gender, you get a workplace filled with women who can't do the same work as the men there. And the men end up having to help them. So it really makes me think, should there even be affirmative action? Because it is quite obvious that the reasons why women didn't used to go for these positions is because they knew they weren't worthy of them. And when you take someone who knows they aren't worthy of a high status position and convince them that they are, just because of their gender, and that they should go for it, and you create laws and norms that get them hired regardless, well, it turns out that that is not actually good for business, and all it does is create a workforce made up of incompetent and overly entitled narcissistic women. Women who are taught that it doesn't take hard work to get ahead, but political manipulation. Women who will ask men for help with their work, then take credit for it, then throw the man under the bus when it is her versus him for a promotion. Women who will get men fired for false sexual harassment claims just for not submitting to her will and giving her a leg up in the workplace. This is where creating narcissistic entitlement in women gets us. Women have been taught by feminism that they deserve top-tier positions in the business world, not based on merit and actual deservingness, but because of their inherent worth as women, because they are queens. And when it comes to dating, women follow a similar pattern. They talk about their worth and how they deserve a top-tier man, even if there's nothing about them that is high status, and they can't say what about them makes them deserving of such a man. what they have to offer him. And while they can claim that they are high status and try to pretend to be, the fact that they are actually extremely low class shows immediately. Because instead of going to charm school and being taught how to actually be a high-class socialite and to present and behave with that level of respectability that those high-status people do, these girls have been taught by feminism to just be rude, bitchy, entitled narcissists who just take what they want as if they deserve it. So these girls just assert that they have high worth, high standards, and start placing demands upon men. Something they do without the slightest bit of class or sophistication. These women will go on a date with a man and ask him how much money he makes up front from the get-go and start telling him about her financial demands that he must meet in order for her to grace him with her company. A type of conversation that would be seen as rude by anyone in polite society, not even just high society, but I think many people were taught by their parents not to ask people financial questions. Yet these women think that they can somehow redefine what it means to be classy and high status, even though they can't really define anything or even use words properly. They will act unsophisticated and unclassy and rude and claim that it is because they are high class with high standards, as if all it takes to be that is to just say so. But claiming to be a member of high society does not actually place you there. Claiming to be high class does not actually make you such. These are roles you have to achieve through a lifetime of proper action. But that is the problem. Women these days aren't being taught that they have to actually do anything to be valuable and high status. That just narcissistic thinking and manipulative words is all it takes. But it's not. All that is causing is for a lot of low-class women to attempt to pass themselves for high class while acting like they have no class at all. And they're so caught up in their own narcissistic delusion that they actually think this is how it works and don't even see the folly in their own ways. So while women rant and rave about how much worth they have, their actions speak louder than their words. Women cannot succeed without the help of men. They can't do much of anything without the help of men. They can't even think for themselves or define who they are and what their values are. So you can't expect them to back up all their talk about self-worth and how much they deserve. Because do they really have that level of worth? Do they really deserve what they say they do? I don't think so. I don't think that people who are actually at that level need to say those things. These are statements that are just indicative of a Napoleon complex. Getting what you deserve in life is something that occurs rather naturally, and people's worth is inherent and thus easily demonstrable and observable by others. And these things are hard to fake, and lying about them and manipulating others into perceiving them as different generally doesn't work. When someone does try to fake these things, even if they can, pass for what they're pretending to be for a little while, it won't be long before their true, authentic self is revealed. Just remember to watch women's actions and not listen to their words. And don't let a woman fool you with her narcissism about how much she deserves. She may say she's worth a whole lot, but the truth is that if she has to say that, she's probably actually quite worthless. That concludes this talk. Thank you for listening. Be sure to share your own thoughts and opinions on women's worth and what you think they deserve by commenting below. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button and share these messages with everyone by sharing the video on social media and talking about these things too. And lastly, check out the links in the description below for other resources for your masculine personal development, living the life you want to as an independent man. If you can afford to donate, please do so with the PayPal link, because your support funds me doing this work and fighting the good fight for men like you. And you can stay tuned for the next video coming out soon, which will be on the 10 things I hate most about women. Yes, all women. And I'll be making my case for justified misogyny. And make sure you're subscribed so you'll be notified when that is. And until then, take care of yourselves, men, because no woman out there is going to.